Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Omar from the Bullish Bears team. It's Friday, March 31st, 2017. I thought it was April 1st. April Fools. 7:12 p.m. in the evening, and I want to make a video recapping my plays and building my watch list for Monday so you guys can study up. I wanted to talk about my two plays today, so just to give you some backdrop. So I'm a trainer, and I had to teach a class today at my job, and the class got canceled. So I was like, well, but since the class got canceled, I was like, well, let me see if I can log in and maybe I can make a trade. I had a few minutes, and I couldn't get through the firewall for my job. So I was like, I'm not gonna trade. But I was like, you know what? I kind of feel like good. Like I feel like mentally, I feel sharp. If I find a setup, I think I'm in a good place mentally to make a trade today. And I was feeling it like I wanted to. So I logged on my Thinkorswim app on my phone, and this was the watch list that I built. And look, I have the wrong date there. I put 4/31. It was supposed to be today. Today's March 31st. So edit. Let's do this. Yeah, I messed this up. So it was supposed to be 3/31/17. My hours are so long that I forget what day it is. So so I start like scrolling through the watch list and looking at plays, right? So I'm going through, I see this, I'm like, dud. Actually, it was a good short setup. I mean, if you find shares to short, you could have shorted this down. And same through LPTH, it was so overextended because it went from 222 to 225 over the last 5 days that people just took their profit. It just sold off all day. You could have made a great could have been great money shorting. I mean, not but hardly any volume though. Well, even 1,000 shares could have made you close to $1,000, Or no, I'm exaggerating. Could have made you a couple of $100. All right, so I'm looking, and then all of a sudden I see FCX, and when I caught it right at the market open. And what I know is this is the 1 minute time frame. This is the 5 minute. And I have the 1 and the 5 as default setups in my phone app. And I noticed this right here. I noticed a flag. See, there's a bull flag setup right there. So I noticed the flag. I said, oh, you know what? This is going to push. Now, on my phone app, I don't have a TTM squeeze. All I have is the MACD and the RSI. I have the 9, the 20, and VWAP indicators. And the parabolic SAR, which I don't even have here. But I have it on my thing. Somebody asked me in the group what that is. I'll throw it up here just to show you. So I'm going to write short for parabolic SAR. I'll add it just to show you guys. And I'll make the dots, make it blue. All right, hit apply, hit OK. And all that is just these dots, when they're underneath the candle, it's just a confirmation sign that, the stock should go up in price. When it's above the candle, that means that the stock, it's like a confirmation that the stock should go down. The price of the stock should go down. Now, all of these indicators are just that, indicators. They don't guarantee you anything. If they were guaranteed you anything, everybody'd be trillionaires, right? They just help give you a sense of the direction of where the stock is going. So, with that said, I saw this and I said, oh shit, I'm going to jump in because, it's going to get a second push up. It was above the 9 EMA. This is the 9 EMA. And on the 5 minute chart, it was very, very clean. So, what do I always say about momentum plays? I say that when the stock is ripping, generally, you get 2 gaps up and then a pullback. Now, here, when I was watching it here, I thought this was the first one. But this was actually the second pullback because the first rip actually happened pre-market. So this right here was the first rip up. So this, I mean, it's very little volume, but this was the gap up, and here was the pullback. So this was a ugly bull flag, but it's sort of like a flag. So it gapped up and it pulled back. And then the market opened, and you got the second push up, and then it pulled back to the 9 EMA, and then you got that last push up, and then you got another pullback. Now, on the 5 minute, all right, and it just kind of consolidated, and then it had this, it had this U-shaped pattern. So when it has the U-shaped pattern, you're gonna get a second leg up, right? And I noticed it, so I stood in the trade. Now, you also got a much cleaner look on the 5 minute chart. On the 5 minute chart, you got the gap up and you got the pullback right here. This is the 13 EMA. It's way above, in front of the 13 EMA, way in front of VWAP. But you know, it had this nice pullback here, right? And then it was just a nice bull flag pullback. And then you got the second push up. You got the volume coming in. You got the second push up. And it almost touched 1360. And then it kind of pulled back to the 13 EMA on the 5 minute. On the 1 minute, you know, it's a different time frame. So the pattern's a little different. It formed a U shape. And it just kept continuing up. And this was higher day at this point. And it broke higher day, which was 1347. All right. So 1347, which was the high day, it broke it. That's another bullish confirmation. You see, look, it forms this like sort of flag pattern, and then it pushes up, and then you have the reversal. Now, to show you that I'm not crazy and how all this is somewhat predictable is look. So look at the time, right? It doesn't take. It says 9:41 a.m. Can't log in because of firewall. Took a trade on FCX. On my watch list, beautiful bull flag formation on the 1 minute chart. Longing stocks more, yeah, because Lucian asked me to, you know, do more longing because not everybody has the ability to short. Even though I tell everybody shorting is what's going to get you rich and not longing, my opinion. But you see, I was in and I pulled back and I got in here, and look what happened. So the next thing I post, I'm doing this all from my phone, just laying back, watching it on my phone. What did I say? There goes the second leg up on the 5 minute chart. Remember, you usually get 2 bull flags and the reversal, right? So if we look at the chart, on the 5 minute chart, right? You go here. This was the second bull flag right here. This was it right here. All right, this is what I saw on the 5 minute chart. Very predictable. So then, I'm going between the 1 minute and the 5 minute chart on my phone. So then, on the 1 minute chart, right? Actually, it was the 3 minute chart, but I actually saw it originally start forming on the 1 minute chart. I said U-shaped pattern forming on the 1 minute chart. Really, this was when I took the screenshot. I was on the 3, but I saw it forming on the 1. U-shaped pattern forming on the 1 minute chart. FCX bullish confirmation price will continue if it can break 1350, which is a psychological resistance pattern. It could push to 1375. The reason why I said 1375 is because you usually go in 25-cent increments. That's what I'm thinking. That was my thinking. I'm doing this off of my phone, just focusing on the patterns, and look what happened, right? So I said that, and look on the 1 minute. We're starting to form that U-shaped pattern. And over here, it's like at 1346. It still hasn't got to 1350 yet, right? And then my next, which was at 10:15, there it goes, moving up. From my phone, no computer. For all those that think my strategy is bullshit and patterns don't matter, this is all proof in real time. And look, it broke 1352, and it went all the way up to 1358 before the reversal. You know, and it was, and you know, and all you have to do now. I was on my phone, so I couldn't do this from my phone. But had I gotten here, I would have just put that trend line going, 2 o'clock like this, and just rode the trend. As long as it's riding the trend, I stay in. As soon as it breaks the trend, I would have been out, and I would have got in somewhere right. I got in right here, 1331, and I just rolled this up. You see, and let's say it would have came back down, boom, right here it's 1343. Would have been with the trend. Once it broke, I would have just closed my position. I'm just giving you an example, but you could have rolled this up. Now I would have rolled this up as soon as I would have seen these wicks. These are indecision candles. This means that the stock doesn't know what it's going to do, and usually that means that a reversal is about to happen. See the head and shoulders pattern forming very similar. So shoulder, head, shoulder, and then it kind of went back up. So it was like an inverse. So just so you know, though, you see the TTM squeeze settling down, and you see the MACD rolling over. So at this point here, it's time to get out. And I actually got out. I think it was like at 1353. I think it was where I got out. Or, yeah, something like that, somewhere in that range. But, it actually, though, if you watch it, it kind of continued. Now, on the 1 minute chart, it's very like chippy choppy is the word that I want to say. On the 5 minute, it's a little cleaner. So let me remove this, and I'm going to zoom in here on the 5 minute. Look what happens. It washes out, but it finds this new support level 1344, and look, it starts forming a channel, higher lows. So what you do is, you put a trend line here as you see the stock going in this direction, and then this is higher day, so you put the trend line as it's forming, and what you're seeing here is an ascending triangle. But what happened was it lost all its gas here. And what it did, once it broke below the trend, this is where you could have took a short, and it just kind of collapsed, you know. So you could have made some money, you know, taking it long and taking it short. That's what all stock trading's about, folks. It's just patterns. It's just patterns, you know. The second stock that I traded, and I literally, so it was close to the end of the day for me. I said, let me see if I can get in, and I was able to get in my computer from at work. And I only use one monitor, guys. All you need is one monitor to trade from. This is a 22-inch monitor at work. And I said, finally broke through the firewall at work, got in a few minutes to trade. AKTX popped up on the TTMC side scanner. Once it broke 10 bucks, jumped in and rode the trend. That's all I did. I literally logged in, right? Looked, remember, look at this. This is the nightly scan biggest mover. So this is the scan that I use when I search for the stocks that, you know, I'm going to put on my watch list. But I also tell everybody that this is the scan where I find most of my plays. All right, so I logged in and I just saw it, like it was just popped up, and both of these were bright light blue, which means that they're strength forming. So when I saw the chart, I saw it about like right, like it was already like trending. And I saw it starting to, you know, trend upwards, and it was actually, it wasn't like blue yet. It was turning. It was like, so when you see yellow means that it's starting to change. So I saw the trend, and I saw it starting to form this way. So I saw it was very light, but I saw it go in, and as soon as I see that reversal coming, I jumped in right around here, and I just literally put a trend line, and I did this from work. I mean, I'm in my home computer now. And I just rode the trend. And look, you see the MACD curling? That was a confirmation. You see the TTM squeeze. You see the value coming in. Those are all bullish confirmations. All you do at this point, so let me just remove the drawer so you see. So let's say you get in here. You just take the trend line. You start the trend, because obviously you don't know what the next candle is going to do. So what I do is I just go like this about 2 o'clock. And then what I do is I let it go. Then I right click on the trend line. And then I go extend to right, and I go and I just follow the trend. Now I did this, you know, I messed this up here, but usually I just go. Or the other way you can do this is you can try to drag it up the screen. At this point, you're gonna be able to drag it up the screen because, you know, the market has, you know, gone up and down, you know. So you could do it that way, or you could do it the other way. So, you know, you could do it either way, you know. But normally what I do is, you know, I start a trend. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Let me zoom in again. All right, so I see the trend, I start the trend, and you know, I start the candle, I'm starting the line, and I just go, you know, extend the right, and I watch it, you know, and I always watch it ride the trend. Now, sometimes, you know, I make the trend, you know, sometimes, you know, sometimes the trend can be a little misleading too. Sometimes if you put it too close, because what happens is the real break is when it breaks the 9 and 20 EMA. That's really like the real reversal. Like when it breaks this, that's really your time to get out. But you know, you ride the trend up, and you would have rode the trend up. It really, you know, over here it broke the trend here at 1049. At least in my. Not the one I did at work. The one I did at work, I had it better suited. But look, you see it never broke the 20 EMA. It just bounced off it, and it just kept going up. So you could have just rode this all the way up. And then right around here, 1106, it collapsed. I sold before 11 because $11 is a psychological resistance barrier. And me, I'm not trying to be greedy. You know, I'm just trying to make my little profit and keep it moving, you know. So that was the play. Those were my 2 plays of the day. All right. Just remember, the trend is your friend. You know, the trend lines really do help. I mean, the indicators are fantastic, but when you have a trend line, you know, it's just a nice visual. It's just a nice visual confirmation. It makes it easy for you to just watch and say, hey, you know, as long as it doesn't break this, I'm in. You know, and even if it breaks it, you know, you want to be really clear, and you know, you can wait to see if it breaks below the 9 and 20 EMA. Usually, me, I'm just out. I'll take my little profit. Just want a piece of the move. You don't want to be greedy, because that's where you can lose a lot of money. These stocks are extremely volatile, and they move fast, you know, in price. So you got to be careful. This stock had, I don't know, let me see. The float was 11 million shares, so it is a low float. I mean, to me, I like the criteria of 10 million shares or less, but really technically, the technical term probably is 20 million shares or less would be considered a low float stock. So because of that, you know, the shares are limited. The prices go up and down really, really quickly. So you gotta be careful with these plays, you know. But if you haven't put these scanners on, I highly recommend you put them on, man. They're great. They make it easy for you to see plays that are moving, that are gapping up and gapping down. So with that said, let's build our watch list for Monday. All right. So you know, again, the criteria. I look for stocks between 20 cents and $30 that are 500,000 shares or greater, that are 5% or greater. Right. You hit scan, and these are the stocks that come in your play. And this is currently this list here. It's just here on the side. So I go to charts, and we're just gonna go look at stocks. Now I'm gonna go here. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to where it says create watch list, and I'm gonna put Monday's date, which is gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 3/17, right? And I'm gonna hit save, and we're gonna build our watch list. This is absolutely gonna be on Watch Monday. Now, more than likely, this thing is gonna collapse Monday. All right, this moved on some news, okay, and it's so overextended, you know, that I don't know, maybe you know that you gotta expect it to pull back. So there's probably gonna be a nice shorting opportunity come Monday on the stock. Doesn't mean that it won't continue up. Doesn't mean that you know it won't reverse. But you're definitely gonna have an opportunity to make some money shorting this. And if you want, you look at the yearly chart to see kind of where it's been. So this stock was at 19 bucks, and you know it came all the way down to $6, and now look at this. It's all the way back up at 11. There's no way. Look how overextended it is. I mean, it's gonna pull back, and it's gonna present a great shorting opportunity. But the shares are going to be very hard to find because it's a low float stock. So, you know, if you can find shares, great. If you can't, you know, take a look to see how it's moving. You know, remember, you trade the volatility. You look for the patterns and you trade the patterns, right? So, let's keep moving. Let me move this over just so I could see these things a little better. IVFH, hell no. DRNY. So, this stock, you know, held its highs, traded 2 million shares. Up 25%. This was 252 5 days ago. It's up at 340. Look at this nice U-shaped pattern. I would have traded this just when I saw the pattern forming. You know, look at that. See, nice U-shape, gapped up. You know, people might have traded just for the pattern. I mean, it's up after hours. You know, this stock has normally no volume. So this I'll put on the watch list for Monday. It's probably going to be a good shorting opportunity. So if you think you can find shares to short of this should be on your short watch list. Let's see how many shares it's available. It has 25 million shares, so you know there's probably some shares to short. Not it's not a super liquid company, but you know you may find some shares to short. All right. So with that said, let's keep moving. SFNU Soul Fund. Wow, went from 257 to 333. This thing had a nice move. Look at this. It just ripped all day. No pullback. No pullback on the 5 minute. It just kept going and going. Look at this. It just rolled the 13 EMA. I mean, it never broke below it. So you could have stood watching this whole day. So let's say you do this and you see the stock run. You go, okay, I'm going to put a watch list, right? And let's say you see it running this way. So like this. So theoretically, because it's gapping like this, your trend line should be like this. And you're watching it going and you're watching on the 5 minute and it breaks. But because it never breaks below the 13 EMA, you could theoretically just stay in the stock until it breaks the 13 EMA. And you could have rolled this all the way up. On the 1 minute, you know, it's going to look a little different. You'll probably see you got the gap up, you have the pullback. So here's the bull flag. You don't get to see it on the 5 minute. It's just going and going. But on the 1 minute time frame, you see the gap up, you see the pullback right here. You see the gap up, you see a small pullback. So you have like two little bull flags there. And it just kept going. It kept going and going, and then, you know, and then it had a tiny reversal. And look, $3. It never broke below $3 because that's psychological resistance power, and it just kept going. This will be on our watch list for Monday. You know, I don't know anything about the company fundamentals. That's going to be for you to figure out and do your research. You know, this stock is dog shit. All right, it was 1975. Oh, I'm sorry, wrong stock. It was 653, and you know, it had this huge green day, probably on news. I don't know what news it had. What did it say? Press release. FANG announces fourth quarter earnings. Oh, so it had some good earnings or something like that, and that's what made it move. But this stock is shit. I expected to give back some stuff Monday, but it held its highs, right? And that's what we look for, stocks that hold their highs, because we expect them to be volatile. All right, IMMG. I mean, this thing has been pumped. This thing has been on watch list several times, and it just keeps going up. It's crazy. Like, it doesn't have much value, but this thing was 76 cents, and it's at 121. At some point, this thing is gonna completely collapse, but it keeps going up. I mean, I don't know what's going on with this stock. I'll put it on the watch list. Maybe you may want to throw 100 shares in there and see what happens, and put a stop loss. You know, if it keeps going up, maybe you make $100. Who knows? You know. I don't know. I'll put it on there for you, but it's not very liquid. Normally I wouldn't trade it, but because it just continues to move, I'll put it on there just so you can watch, keep an eye on it. GAR, nah. ENSE, no. ARGS, no. See, guys, look how choppy. You don't know what the stock is gonna do. That's why I'm just not even like wasting my time going through them. LTBR, nah, it's choppy, no volume. Look, 623,000 shares. We like 1 million or more shares at a minimum. CIDM, nah. RPM, GALT, nah, it's you know, too choppy. I mean, you could trade these for like swing trades because this was 190 3 days ago, and it's at 229, so it may be worth a swing if you're into that. But you know, I'm trading momentum. MRNS, nah, too choppy. ICG, nah. NEOT, nah. BBRY, this thing ripped pre-market. Wow, it went from $6 to $8. This thing started in the pre-market, and then it just washed out all day. If you look at the stock, you know, it opened up, it continued up, and once it reversed, it came back down. The stock was $6. I'm gonna put it on the watch list, just because, you know, just because, you know, it's still pretty overextended. Wait a minute, what am I doing wrong? Sorry about that, guys. What was it? Was it BBR? Oh, it's BBRY. Oh, Burberry, Blackberry. Sorry about that. I don't know why I kept doing that. Yeah, so, you know, probably had some news. You know, we'll see. Maybe, you know, people gapped up and took some profit, but maybe it continues upward. You know, just check the news on it. Maybe worth looking at. At its high, it's 846. So, you know, it's getting close to its high, so you got to expect that it's going to give something back. But, you know, look at the, you know, if you want, again, you look at the yearly, you can kind of zoom in. I mean, it's bullish, but it's hot, you know, so I don't know. You can do your research. CBR, this thing gapped. Look at this in the last hour. This is probably a pump. This is probably a chat room pumping this up, more than likely. When you see a stock just do this and there's no news, it's because some guru shmuru saying, hey, I'm in this stock. And, you know, all the followers just buy because they're just following the leader, you know? And so you know, so just you know, keep an eye out on these things. I'm not gonna put this on my watch list. PBIO, nope, no good. BCLI, nah. IMLFF, nah. GEVO, nah. Nothing really exciting. Legacy, nah, no value. MBRV, nah. NIHD, nah. PSIX, I mean, it gapped up, but it gave back a lot of its gains. Nah, no volume either. CGIX, nope. REI, yeah, don't like that either. Even though it, you know, went crazy, had a nice spike. See, this is when a trend line is fantastic because you know, you're watching it go through the trend and boom, you get out. So you get in. Stocks like this where they have that quick spike, the trend line is always the best. Like, that's when it's really valuable. So, you know, let's say you get in. Let me so let's say you get in here, right? And you see it moving on the 1 minute, right? Because it's happening so fast. So you get in, right? And, you know, you don't know what the next candle is. So, you know, you start your line, and then you go extend the right, and then you just watch it. As long as it rides the trend, you're in. But once you see this this is a wick. This is the sign. Oh shit! This is gonna. Normally, what this means is that there's gonna be a reversal. And look, and then it just revert because this is an indecision candle, and then look, it just came back down, and you could have got out and, you know, made a nice profit. That's why the trend is really good. It's just spike and sell off quick. All right, let's keep moving. I'm not gonna put on my watch list. NVCN, nope. ALQA, nope. RAS, 1.2 million shares. I mean, you know, caught some volume at the end, caught a little pop, but nah. MARA, nah. Yeah, nope. LTRX, nah, too choppy. PLX, nah. BWEN, nah. BBG, BBG's held its highs. Yeah, this stock, this Bill Bratton, man, this thing keeps moving. Like this stock's been trading in a nice little channel. Like it'll swing up and then it swings back down. Let's see, like the last 20 days. This was at 384, and it's just been it kind of like this is sort of like the channel it's been. So, it's sort of between here and here. It's been trading at. So it's between this four. Let me zoom in. It's between this 455 range, 421 range. So let's see if it breaks out. If it reverses, and let's say you see it over the next couple of days come back down to this range, then you may want to buy it for a swing, because maybe it swings back the opposite direction. We'll see. All right. I'll put it on the watch list because I've seen it, move. All right, moving on. LL. Linwood Lumber. Yeah, this has been on my watch list a lot. This thing is moving, man. This stock was $18 and now it's up to $21. We'll definitely put this on the watch list. ECYT, nah. LEJU, nah. See, market's kind of dead today. FSM, I mean, it's moving. 2 million shares. This is choppy though. This is so choppy. I mean, it is holding its highs. Let's see what it's done over the last year. This is sort of at its lowest point. Now it's kind of gapping up. You may want to look at this. Maybe it may work for swing. I'm not gonna put it on my watch list, so I don't know. I don't know. It's just too choppy for me. All right, moving on. RNN, nah. NGNX. I mean, it's gapping up, but not a lot of volume. Choppy. I mean, that on a 5-minute time frame. Could have got in here and just rolled the net 13 EMA all the way up. But nah. PTCT. Yeah, this stock when it has volume, when it has news, it moves, and it's high. It's holding its high. It's choppy, on the 1 minute. It's a little better to trade on the 5 minute. Had you got it on the 5 minute, you could have just rolled this right in the line. Let's say you see a gap up. Oh, I see the bull flag. It's very clear. It pulls back to the 13. So here you say I'm gonna get in. You just draw that bull flag. Now obviously you won't see it go up. So you just do the 2 o'clock candle and just go extend the right, not extend the left. Extend the right and just watch it go up. All right, and you can modify your trend line if you want. Like let's say you see it go like this, and he's like, oh, it's too far. You can just fix it as you go up, and you definitely want to make sure that it stays above the 13 EMA. As long as you stays above the 13 EMA, you see how it bounced off it all day. Other traders are looking at the same thing. All right, so let me put that on the watch list. PTCT. But I haven't seen anything that made me get RELY, nope. FBR, nah, no volume. Oh, no, it had volume. 1.9 million shares traded, 1.7 million shares traded. It's kind of went back to above VWAP. It was at $8. I mean, it moved a lot. Let's see where it's been over the last year. It's approaching its high. This is where it found resistance and it popped. I don't know. You can put it on your watches. I'm not gonna put it on mine. I don't know. ECR, nah. Too choppy. ADPT, nope. And we got 3 more for stocks. JAGX, yeah, this is a great short. SDRL, nah, and PLDR. I mean, it's too choppy. It was 196 5 days ago. Could be a good one. So not a lot of play. So what I do sometimes, and I think I showed you this on yesterday's, if I don't, because my scan will only show me stocks that are up 5%. So sometimes what I do is I look at my new high scan and just see what's there and kind of go through stocks that are, and maybe I'll find a couple of plays there. So no, this is no volume though. AXAS, nah, nope. And this, nah, just too choppy, man. It's too choppy, not enough volume. I mean, these may be good swing trades, but I'm looking for, momentum. Nah, don't like it either. Nah, things bouncing up, it's moving. This is a stock that I've traded in the past when it has news and moves. It's a little choppy. I would look at a 5-minute time frame if I'm trading this. I mean, the 5 minutes is a lot cleaner. AUPH, I'll put on the watch list. Things gapping up again, and it does move when it has news. Now, this is why you need scanners, because what if nothing on your watch list is doing anything one day? you gotta look for plays. They'll happen. News happens at any moment, right? Let's look at the CRC. CRC is, you know, gapping up. Had a nice little move, holding the 13 EMA. It's very choppy on the 1 minute. I would have to look at a 5-minute chart to trade a stock like this. Look at it. It's too choppy. You're not sure what it's gonna do. But it did hold its highs. I don't know. I don't love it. Nah, I'm not gonna put it on watch. Just ICHR had 1.2 million shares traded. I mean, it's kind of choppy on the 1. On the 5, it's a lot cleaner. You know, I'll put it on the watch list. I'm just trying to find plays for you guys. ADPT, nah. And these stocks we already saw already. They were up on the other scan too. Yeah, these were all on the scan and the other scan. They just closed holding their highs. That's why they popped up on this scan. So far these are the only stocks, and I'm gonna put just. I go to my old faithfuls, NUGT, JNUG. If you know, if you don't see anything, always look at those gold stocks, because look, a stock like this, even though it's choppy, you could have took a trade once it broke above VWAP. NUGT is a great stock to trade once a stock goes above VWAP. You can do that VWAP play that I teach you guys too. When you see once it breaks above VWAP, you just use like maybe a couple of cents below VWAP as your stop loss, and just ride it. As long as it stays above VWAP, you ride it. You know, and you could have put like a trend line. You know, let's say you're watching this and it breaks above VWAP. You know, so it breaks above it, and let's say, you know, and then you have a stop loss, so you get stopped out here, right? Because it broke below VWAP. But then, you know, you keep watching it, it goes above VWAP, and look, it just kept going all day. And just check the price of gold. If gold's going up, NUGT and JNUG is going to go up. Same thing, and whatever NUGT does, JNUG does, but it's at a cheaper price. See, did the same thing. Once it broke VWAP, it just rolled up. Even though it's choppy, that's what you're doing. You're using VWAP as your entry, all right? So these are like when the market's dead and nothing to trade, I use these two as my go-to. If I see there's range, I'll use VWAP as my entry. Just another trick in the toolbox. But no worries if there's nothing on the watch list. You know, you use your scanners to find plays. That's the whole point of scanners, so you can find plays. And Monday there'll be news, or the weekend there'll be news, and you know, that's sort of how it works. All right, folks. So I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the community. Make sure you join us. All right. Bullish Bears, okay, on Facebook. Request, we're a private group, and we're closing on 5,000 members. Help us get to 5. All right, have a good weekend, everyone.